should get a green screen so that we can put like fish behind us.
You can get like posters from the dollar store that are just like for school projects, and they just get some green ones.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to pay hellish money.
Right. And then we could put fish behind us. Actually, we should only talk about fish. This isn't the right chords. So what's your favorite fish?
I like the one that... What is it called? Cuttlefish?
That's the one that guy is afraid of.
Which guy?
In Age of Ultron, the guy who has like the Australian accent. And he's like, I'm afraid of cuttlefish. And then he talks about the lights that they make.
Oh, is it the one that has like the little lamp?
That's an anglerfish.
Oh, well then what's a cuttlefish?
I don't really know.
Maybe that's not my favorite fish.
Yeah, I don't
then.
think it's your favorite if you don't know what it is.
I don't really know the names of fish. I just know what they look like, and they make me happy. Like the purple one with the yellow fin. I like that one. That one's cute.
Me
I just don't know
too.
what it's called.
Purple fish.
Or there's another one that is the one that spits out the gravel. That one I like just because he looks like a goof.
Humans can spit out gravel.
That's true, but they don't usually. And they don't make as complex of designs. You know, like David Attenborough did that, like... David Attenborough.
That guy looked like a little puffer fish.
Was he? No,
Maybe
he was
not.
different. But I like
A little
pufferfish too.
triangle looking guy?
Yeah, he had like the... I love when he just like I can't replicate it obviously, but
I wish you would.
You know what I'm talking about. He's so good. Oh, I think it's his fins. It's because they're so fast. They're like hummingbird fins.
That's like that one that has the, you know?
Hey.
Hey there!
I'm Grack.
I'm Jordan M. Holloway.
God damn it. Oh, we didn't talk about this. Do we profane on this
Yeah.
podcast? Okay.
I think so.
This is a profanity-friendly podcast.
Yeah. Don't show your kids.
Don't be a kid. All right, now that we have our bases covered. Wait, let's give the viewers 10 seconds to figure out if they either have children or are children.
Yeah, no, I think we can just go, actually.
No, I think we should keep this.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm Grack, and he's Jack.
Yeah.
And this is a podcast that's undetermined. Well, okay, the title is Grack and Jack, but everything else is fluid, so enjoy. So, we figured the best thing to do to start off would be to just, like, say why we know each other and kind of introduce ourselves as human beings so that you kind of have some reference point, and it looks like he's got something to say.
No, I just wanted to try
Just
doing
winding
that.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny if I kept looking like I was like trying to say something.
Maybe we should do that podcast thing where people always like do something with their mouths to indicate they're about to speak. So the thing I was thinking was...
Do people do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, not all of them, but I feel like
What
it's
is
pretty effective. Just like smack your lips or something, or like do like some vocal fry right before you're about to...
So anyway...
And okay, the reason why we know each other is because of school, because we both go to college here to study music.
And here is in Boulder. That's in Colorado.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and say that? Oh, well then let me just fucking redo this whole thing. So my real name's Grace.
Okay.
And I'm an oboe performance major and political science minor at the University of Colorado Boulder. And I'm a senior, so woohoo! Just about done with first semester senior year, and then off to whatever the hell is next. So that's my bit. I know Jordan M. Holloway from here because he does.
Go here. I do go here to this school.
Mm-hmm.
I am a composition major which means that I write music, and I am doubling that with viola performance. If you'd never heard of a viola, it's like a violin, but a little bit bigger. And my dream is to... I'm totally fascinated by the fact that after they killed Osama bin Laden, they just threw him in the ocean.
Excellent. Yeah, so we've known each other for like a year now.
Like 3 years.
Not really.
I knew who you were.
Okay, we knew of each other.
That is the same thing as knowing each other.
I guess, but do we have a real dialogue until like about a calendar year ago? No.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
January 2019. That pendulum that you played on. I said that was good. I don't remember what I said. I probably said that.
Probably something along those lines. Thanks. I think I was probably distracted by being scared, so I didn't register
at the performance
that.
or like at the reception.
Was it at the reception?
Well, I didn't tell you while you were playing.
Oh. So I need to know the details though. Did they dismember him first, or did they just like full send wholesale into the ocean?
I'm pretty sure they like wrapped him up.
Okay.
And that was it. Just
they
overboard.
Didn't do like services at all, or like
I don't think they were very keen on that.
So you're saying it was
what kind of service?
The body's not even cold yet, and they just ditched it? That seems so strange.
No,
to
I
me.
think they were. I don't know.
I feel like. Well, okay. Here's the other thing. This is something that captivates me. So it turns out that Che Guevara, who was like
Saw Gerrera?
No.
Oh.
Che Guevara, a little different. He was part of the like Cuban Revolution in some ways, and anyways, he got his head and his hands cut off by the CIA, and then they just kept them from like whenever that was, which I think, actually I don't really know the year, but I think it was at least a decade. And then President Obama, when he opened negotiations with Cuba, gave Cuba back his hands and his head. His severed hands and his head. This country's fucking...
Why?
Yeah, and also the CIA manufactured these, like, cigars that were supposed to blow up for because they wanted to kill Fidel Castro. Yeah,
Bruh.
11 administrations tried to wipe out Fidel Castro, and he outlived all those presidents. Oh, other things as well. But they manufactured these kablooey cigars, yeah, specifically for that purpose. But they would always chicken out because he would be around civilians, and they were like, well, can't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
I know. So I just think it's like the icing on the cake, though, to just be like, yeah, here's these body parts.
Wasn't that with Fidel Castro? Isn't that who that would have been given to? Because he only died in 2016, right?
Yeah. The question is, did Raul take over before that? Because I can't remember if that happened upon his death or if that... I should know this.
I think it was when he died.
Okay, well then it must have been
I don't actually know, but that's what I think.
I think my favorite story from his rule, though, he would give these impassioned 6.5 hour speeches to the public, and right when he was 90 years old, his last speech that he gave, he said 4 words, and that was it. And it was, "I will die soon." And that was it. And then he did. So. Damn. Yeah. And
Rip.
then, his brother took over, and his brother is now his age because they were only 4 years apart. So I wonder what the longevity looks like on that.
Yeah. But that's kind of like what we've got going on.
Oh.
Some old people.
Okay, wait. Have you seen pictures of Joe Biden from even 2008? He looks like a completely different human being than he does now.
Yeah,
yes. What happened? It's like he had a facial restructuring or something. It's insane. I was watching Sarah Palin versus Joe Biden today because, I don't know, I was on a lark. And I was just like, who is this man? The voice is the same, but the face is completely different.
But also the voice, the words that are coming out are a little bit more commandeered, I think.
The messaging was, yeah. Oof. There was no mention of unity. Although, actually, it's interesting to see how little has changed, because they were talking about, like, one of the questions was, how do you plan to bring the country together from this intense polarization? And just to know that, like, 12 years later, it's still the fucking same story.
Well, I learned about that in the class that I took. Our professor was like, this is American politics, intro to American politics. Our professor was like, yeah, the parties have been like moving apart consistently since like the 90s.
Yeah.
Is that like when that started being a meme?
Yeah, because my professor for U.S. campaigns and elections was saying that when he was in college, the big conversation was, what is the post-partisan era going to look like? Because the major feature of American politics in the 70s and 80s was that there was no distinctive parties or polarization. They thought they were going to go away. And so that's interesting to see those waves. It went from extreme polarization in like the 1920s to this like kind of togetherness in the late 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And then it like diverged insanely. And it's partly to do with cable television, like the way that it's changed. But yeah, that's so strange. I wonder if this is going to be a wave that, like, if we're just kind of in the middle of a crest right now. And if it will come back together. I mean, who knows? I mean, Joe Biden's thing is, like, unity. So maybe that will be...
It's interesting, though, because I feel like he can either choose to unify the United States or you can try to unify the Democratic Party. And I don't think he can do both.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Because there's all these, like, extremists. I wouldn't call them extremists.
Radical
leftists. Anyways. But yeah, so that's good. That's a good dose of like strange politics. And okay, here's the other thing. Why was it so essential to close back the negotiations with Cuba? That's what I don't understand. Like, Trump came in and he was like, remember how Obama said, let's do this again? Let's not do this again.
I think that is the entire basis.
Oh, just to spite?
Of that. Well, because a lot of what he ran on was like, I'm going to undo like everything that Obama did.
Yeah.
Through executive power.
Love that. Absolutely love that. We love a good power grab on this podcast.
I mean, I don't really know anything about Cuba, so I don't really think, I don't know. But I feel like that's probably a big part of it. It's just the fact that Obama did that.
Probably. Well, we're going to have another batch of that. All the undoing.
Yeah, we're going to go back to 2016.
Woo! Gosh, we love it. Anyways, I like how, so when I approached Jordan to do this podcast, he said that he would do it on one condition, that it wasn't about politics. And that's our first segment, so that's good. Hey, I bet you didn't know this, but New Jersey and Pennsylvania are not the same state.
Two different ones,
yeah.
NJ and PA.
I've never flown to New York City, I've only driven.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's awful. Don't do it. I've also driven to Chicago. Horrible idea. See, I told you, we drove everywhere when I was a kid. Everywhere.
Well, did you drive to New York from Dallas?
Yes.
What is that, like 20 some hours?
I don't know. I think I just like went into a coma because I couldn't have I was probably like 10 when we did that.
Oh yeah, you don't even register.
Yeah, I know. It was just like, wow, this is some scenery that looks the same.
Oh, but were your parents like, look out the window because that's important?
So there's this thing where Jordan's mom is actually a lot like my mom. Although I have to say that's where it diverges.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because on road trips, the meme was always like, let's listen to the entire greatest hits of Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
On repeat. So I know those songs and those solos more, I don't even know, with more depth than probably anything else. Like the repertoire that I just did for my recital pales in comparison. My familiarity is just wow. Yeah, that was always the thing that we did, and we would also do. Oh, I guess you could make an argument that we had like the look out the window thing because we had this thing called travel bingo.
That's like a disguised version of look the hell out the window.
Yeah, and it was so fun because we had like different ones depending on like what region of the country. So it was like the first person to see like 3 silos, they could close their little door. I don't know if any of you guys have played this game. Did you have that?
I think we attempted it, but I think Claire was my stepsister. I think Claire and I were too ADHD to like
yeah, that tracks.
do that. We also mostly did our trips in an RV, which had a GameCube in it. So
okay, that's clutch.
That was yeah.
Yeah, no, we did not. We had actually this like, it was one of those car TVs that came from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Whose sole function in life is just to make sure you hit your fucking head on it, by the way. But yeah, that was good. Before they like figured out that you can put it in like the headrest of the people in front of you. Yeah, this was like what, 2003. It was a 2003 car. And that was like, I remember being so stoked when my mom came home and she was like, we got a DVD player. And I was like, bruh, that's sick. And now her car has fucking Wi-Fi. So like, anyways, how the times have changed. So I feel like, yeah, that was always, we would watch Princess Diaries. Because it was the same, I don't know why. It was the same 3 movies in the car no matter where we went. Which you would think, just switch it the fuck out. But no, it was Princess Diaries 2, not even 1. Because we had 1 on VHS, so that didn't work. And then we had like, actually, one of them was a VeggieTales movie. Hey, I was raised Christian. And then like, and it was the Easter special one too, which is dumb.
VeggieTales came up actually in our quartet rehearsal yesterday.
Really?
Because I was singing something. I need to know what I'm talking about before I say this.
Okay.
Fuck we were doing. Well timed. What is that? I've never heard that kind of sound. Ambulance?
No.
Oh, no.
Well.
Anyway, I don't even know if it was me actually. Somebody was singing something and Ingrid, one of our violinists, was like, what is that? That sounds like something. And Nick, our cellist, was like, it's like the VeggieTales theme, which I don't know how that goes, but apparently this story sucks.
Do you want to cut it?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the VeggieTales theme was never as good as the VeggieTales, like, they always had music videos in them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so like, for example, Sports Utility Vehicle, that song fucks. Ever heard it?
The song called Sports
Utility Vehicle. I think that's what it's called. I just know that was like a... Well, now I need to know. Here's the part where we get copyright struck. No, but they had like Boys in the Sink was one of their groups. It was actually quite genius. I love Jesus. I don't know what that had anything to do with. I can't remember if that was like a commercial segment that they did or why that was important to the story. I don't even remember what it was from. So, you know, it makes you wonder, like, if you don't remember the biblical tale, but all you remember is this ridiculous shit in the middle, like, what's the fuck?
Did it really succeed?
No. Just like sword drills. You didn't grow up in church, did you? Or did you?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay, did you do sword drills ever? And like kids?
No idea what that is.
So there was like this thing where you would take your Bible and you would have it on your lap closed and you had to like have your hands off it and then they would go 3, 2, 1, go, and then they would say a scripture and you'd have to find it, and whoever found it the fastest and read it and stood up to read it out loud would like win. But see, you don't actually like remember the verses because you're not memorizing it. You're just like trying to find it as fast as you can.
The location of it.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you could actually like have an advantage over other kids if you had like the little tabs on the side of your Bible.
Oh yeah.
That was clutch.
That makes sense.
That was real clutch. And I would always bookmark the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament so I could just flip halfway through and then try to find the tab. It's like strategy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are the strats.
Those are the strats. Because you get like candy afterward.
MLG.
And I was so hyped. I didn't know this was going to turn into a Christian podcast. That was straight poggers. I don't know how to use that. Did you pack food on your road trip, or did you actually stop?
Oh God, did we pack food? Okay. No, this was the most insane shit ever, and I didn't realize it because I was a kid, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I was I was 7 when this man who became my ex-stepfather and then not, who will remain nameless, came into my life, and he had the RV, he had the boat and the jet skis, he had all this cool shit, and I didn't realize how like insane everything we did was until after he stopped being part of mine and my mother's lives, and part of that was packing food for trips. So we have had a timeshare on a houseboat in Lake Powell since 2009, and it was 2 weeks every year, 2 weeks in the middle of June that we would go. And the food that we packed, we would have like, you know those coolers that are like...
Oh, yeah.
Like as long as a person?
Exactly, yeah.
We'd have like 4 or 5 of those for 2 weeks. And then once we arrived in Page, Arizona, we would go to the Walmart and buy more food, even though we had already packed for like a month. It was the most insane shit ever.
It's because inevitably you get to the location, you realize you only packed fucking sandwiches, and you can't eat another ham and cheese sandwich or you're gonna puke.
No. It was very elaborate from the get-go.
Are we talking like there was lobster? Or
there was
like
steak.
Packed in the cooler?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, a lot of frozen meat. Yeah, and part of our it like weaved its way into the other parts of our trip, where like part of the entertainment arriving at the marina on the houseboat the first night was putting all of this fucking dry ice into water so we could watch the like fog come out. I don't know if anyone's ever like done that, but like that was like something that we did and would be fascinated by, but it was because we just had like too much dry ice.
Yeah.
I've never let that out.
Some good shit.
Anyway, 2011, this guy is not in our lives. My mom and I go to Lake Powell by ourselves in the middle of June. Don't pack any food. Get to Walmart, get to Page, go to Walmart, buy what we need, and it's fine. It's fine.
You didn't starve to death?
We did not starve.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I see. I thought I was having a podcast with a ghost, so that's good.
Oh, that's your mistake. I'm not a ghost. I'm a person.
And my name is Anakin. So yeah, that'll probably pop up. Star Wars frequently will be a topic of discussion, but mainly just the same 4 quotes. So just get ready for that. Yeah, no, we would pack this fucking like, we would have, gosh, I just remember, well, okay, so there's different trips. If it was like a moving a kid into college kind of trip, it was like, you can't see out the back window with the rear view mirror kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, just actually hazardous. No, but we never had RV trips, which I actually am sad about. I feel like that, the parts that I would have expected to have in my childhood would have been cruises and RV trips, because I feel like that's like, I don't know, most of the people that lived in my like community had those, but...
Went on cruises?
Yeah.
Where? Just like anywhere?
Yeah. Like, I had
That's such a
neighbor...
fascinating concept.
Right?
Doesn't matter where the fuck you are, because you're on a cruise.
Right.
Like,
they would just drive down to Houston and then go wherever the fuck. Yeah.
So weird.
I know. But so it was just always like, or go skiing. I never did that either, but a lot of people from where I'm from Dallas, by the way, just so you know. A lot of people in Dallas like to go to Breckenridge for their, like, spring break or their Christmas break or whatever.
Specifically Breckenridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because I actually lived by a park that had the same name when I was growing up, Breckenridge Park.
Oh.
So, like, I don't know.
Maybe that's why they went there.
Maybe, because it's the name recognition.
Association.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, we're going to talk about politics again. It's kind of like on the ballot.
Yeah, the Associated Press.
Yeah.
How they called the race for...
No.
Oh.
That diverged.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Yeah.
I came from downstairs.
About 10... Wait, I don't actually know, because, see, I was raised in a church type thing and, like, a private school, so I don't actually know when the Big Bang was supposed to have happened, because all I learned in my beginner science was creationism. So I don't know how many millions of years ago the Big Bang was.
Like 10 billion, right?
10 billion?
Okay, Google. When was the Big Bang? I think that's right. Maybe it's 14 billion.
Here's what I understood from the website space.com. The Big Bang was born about 13.7 billion years ago. Do you want a little more context?
No. You probably couldn't hear that. It's 13.7 billion years
It's a lot of billions.
There's a really cool theory that... Well, so, like, one of the existing theories about the universe is that, like, it just, like, spreads apart and then there's, like, the heat death and then it's all over. But there's, like, the Big Bang, or, like, one of the accepted ones is that, like, the Big Bang happened and then everything spreads apart, heat death. All of the energy that exists expends itself and that's it. End of time. But there's another theory called Big Bounce, which is like the universe exists on like a cycle. I sound like fucking Joe Rogan. I sound like...
Fucking go for it.
I sound like somebody that Randy would listen to. Here we go. So, Big Bang.
Okay.
Big ball of heat. Universe, right?
Okay.
And dark matter or dark energy, one of those two things is pushing things apart.
Okay.
Despite like gravity's existence, which would like contradict that.
Yeah.
But eventually, the theory is that eventually we get so far apart that the dark matter / energy, I don't know which one it is expended, and then gravity becomes the dominant thing, and then it all gets pulled back together, and then it's like where we started, and then it just like happens again. Like
that's confusing to me.
Like one of these. It's like one of these.
Yeah. Like what? Yeah.
I learned about this like 2 years ago. I didn't learn this in school.
I feel like I want to know how that plays in. Isn't there like a law that you can't destroy energy? So like, how can it get to the point where
I think it
would then collapse on itself?
I feel like that's why the Big Bounce theory makes more sense, rather than just heat death, the end. Because the idea of a heat death, I guess, is that energy becomes put into a context where it like can't mean anything relevant because it's all like vacuum and like nothing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Up until for the first decade and maybe plus 2 years of my life, I thought the world was only 10,000 years old.
Damn.
So yeah, I don't.
How did you learn how old it was?
By going to public middle school.
Okay.
That's when they were like, you do what now? And I remember I held on to that pretty grittily. I was like, nope, world's only 10... Universe, not even just world.
Yeah.
Universe is only 10,000, which I guess it would be synonymous, because the creationist thing is like it was all made at once. So, okay, whatever. So 10,000 years was it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would... That makes sense that you would hold on to that.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what you believed your entire life.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys. Wow, this shit was ingrained. So yeah, that's good. I mean, at the best though, I mean, I am like very, very familiar with a holy text that inspired a huge, like a shit ton of history in Europe, which is cool. Like I get the motivation and I like all of that, which I'm thankful for, but everything else, like all the weird side effects of that, the vestigial shit is so bizarre.
A lot of that is like so uniquely American too. Like the American spin on it, and like the way that it's like intertwined with capitalism is so strange.
Yeah. And from the Bible Belt.
And it's it's not just Christianity either. It's like it's also the less like religious and more spiritual side of existence as well becomes, what was the word that I was having a conversation about this. I'm not sure what the word was that was used, but it's like it's like adapted to consumer culture so that you can like pick and choose something. It's like individualized.
Commodified?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But how does that relate to like the bigger picture of, like you're saying that there's like the whole idea of Protestantism as being a separate entity and like being able to pick and choose that is like a byproduct of
American capitalism.
Interesting. Huh.
Not because of necessarily like implicit economic features, but just the culture. Like every single thing becomes commodified. And religion doesn't escape that. And fascinatingly, Christianity, which should be more or less more uniform across the board than more individualized practices or more personal practices, I guess. I can't remember how I started this sentence, so I don't know how this dependent clause goes. But it's weird because something like Christianity also like becomes affected by that in a way where it just becomes like totally unrecognizable. If you were to just like read the Bible and like not have had any experience with the church in, well, I won't just say America, but like any country, because I'm sure there are different effects in other places. But like, if you were to just read the Bible, I feel like what you get from it is at the very least noticeably different than what gets portrayed in like massive organizations.
Oh, like picking and choosing the scriptures that are like...
It could be that, or it could be like what sect of Christianity too.
Yeah, I find it interesting to see like the way that there's a distinction between like sacraments and things, because it's like you're all reading the same book, and yet, well, that's not even true though, because there's a different version of the Bible for Catholics than there is for Protestants, which is like a whole other thing. I actually don't know why that is. I just know that I was told that those were false texts that were included in the Bible. Like the Book of the Maccabees and stuff like that. Like we don't have that in the... Yeah. Which is kind of lame because I learned a whole song for it. And now I want to know what the song is that like Catholics learn, because it was like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Anyway, that goes for the whole thing.
Numbers. My favorite verse is Numbers 8:2.
Can you recite it?
This is a paraphrase. So no, but...
It's the JMH version.
Yeah. And God said to Aaron take these candles and set them with the lampstand at the foot of the lampstand. It's something, whatever the King James version of that is, like, reiterates the same word, like, 4 different times.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, being grown up on the King James version, I can attest to the fact that there's a lot of useless shit. I mean, it's not necessarily, like, abridged in other versions, but I feel like just the way that it... Like, I had to read the NIV when I was in Lutheran school, and just, like, seeing how much easier it was to understand readily was, like, wow, I understand now. Although my pastor did a whole series on why the KJV was the right version and how every other version... And here's the shit. Part of the argument was that it was, like, there's a lot lost in translation, and he would pull up specific verses and do a side-by-side comparison. But, like, hello, we're not reading the Greek. So are you trying to tell me there's not a lot lost in translation between the Greek and, what the ass? Like, that's not a great argument, in my humble opinion. Although I did not go to seminary, okay? That's my little disclaimer. I did not major in theology, so I can't really...
Yeah, the past 2 subjects don't really actually know jack shit.
Yeah, we just... this is our spin on science and...
and religion.
Yeah. Thanks for
Hey, guys!
Thanks so much for watching this first podcast, and make sure you like and comment and subscribe, and we would love for you to spitball ideas for segments that we could do in the future. Otherwise, we'll just be content to talk about fuck all. So, yeah, catch us in the next one.
Check out the description for something, I'm sure.